Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for for September 2024. You have this Loyal Heart card and this Clean It Up card. So again, some of you could be thinking about something that you want to be loyal to. Could definitely be love coming in for you, so you could be attracting someone who is loyal. But again, what I want to say is that I feel some of you are attracting something that you want to be loyal to, and I'm not saying that you've been disloyal in the past or anything like that. I'm just saying that this is something where there's a deep heart connection, and it doesn't even have to be love. This could be a job, a career, something that you're going to work on. And it looks to me like it's something that you are going to have a deep connection with. So again, take it how it resonates. The Clean It Up card, I think it's a great time to clean up the trash in your life, or to clean things up in your life in general. It's fine. I just moved, obviously, and again, they refused to deliver my pot, and I got rid of basically everything I owned, and all I have now is this office and a bed in my bedroom, and that's it. And you know what? It's pretty great. And my clothes, of course. That's it, right? So it's pretty great. I don't really feel a need to get anything else, and I might just keep it this way. I don't have a couch, a table, nothing, right? And like I said, it's a really nice energy to be in. So I'm kind of digging the minimalist lifestyle that I've now been forced to adopt. And so again, as someone who has done it, who has had to clean up everything, again, it's kind of freed up a lot of space. It's easier to clean. The list goes on and on there. So I'm a big supporter of it. And if you're cleaning things up, I think it's a great idea. You have the Ten of Cups, the Lovers, and the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Cups is fortune after difficulty, or good things happening after a challenging period of time. Definitely could be love. You have the Lovers, you have the the Ten of Cups, obviously, you have the King of Cups. You do have the Devil here, but I kind of feel like the Devil is saying, just don't rush right into something. We have the Knight of Swords right here. And the Knight of Swords is about really needing to take your time. I believe that we can even make a good relationship toxic, again, if we rush or if we overgive or things like that. So I kind of feel like the Devil is just a warning more than anything else. It's just saying, make sure that you've healed, and also make sure you've cleaned up your vibe as well. That also goes into the Devil, especially with that Clean It Up card. And then things can be, more successful with whatever this is. So again, I think you could be attracting love. For others, I feel that the Lovers is just, and for all of you, really, even if you want love, I kind of feel the reading itself is saying that you are connecting to you're more connecting to your heart. For me to really say that, I would love to see the Ace of Cups or the Queen of Cups show up in this reading as we clarify. That would kind of make me feel a little bit extra, right? That you are moving towards your heart. But I do feel that's kind of what you're doing. You have the Ten of Wands. I've said it before. I even think, I'm pretty sure it was you in the most recent reading I did with the lovely Bonnie, right? I said that I feel like Sagittarius, it's I saw this in my head when I was reading for you in that reading, that it's almost like you're a river. A river has all these tributaries that flow into the river, kind of. Although I actually think tributaries flow out, if you want to get technical about it. But for you, I feel like all this energy is kind of flowing into the center of who you are. You've kind of spread yourself out. You've explored all these different things. Ten of Wands, you've explored a bunch of responsibilities, but the Ten of Wands can sometimes just say you've had a lot going on, and now the energy is returning to center, and now you're flowing in one direction, if that makes sense. And really, I feel like that's the major energy for Sagittarius right now, is that you are kind of pushing towards one thing, whatever it is, and it could be your heart. So let's see if I can make sense of what I just said, right? With the Ten of Cups, you have the Knight of Swords. No rushing. Yes, definitely. I would say, for sure, if you're meeting a new person that you really like, I would take your time, play it cool, all that other stuff. This doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can just say, be patient. Literally, we go to your card, the Temperance card, and the Temperance card just talks about patience. With the Lovers, you have the Five of Wands here. The Five of Wands can represent conflict or competition. I do kind of feel you could be attracting a person where there is competition for that person. So, just to understand that. The other thing I would say with the Devil and the Knight of Swords, this could be you meeting a new person. And sometimes we meet a new person and the past person shows up, or, maybe you have friends that want you to be single or whatever. And so I would, if you are finding a good connection, make sure you're protecting it from anything that could be toxic, right? Here you go. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Temperance card. You've been patiently working on things. It would not surprise me if like some of you have had like 10 jobs at the same time, right? So maybe some of you do like 3 things at once. And I feel that the kind of like what Sagittarius will be working on over the next several years is really focusing in on exactly what they want to be doing and like doing that one thing. It's like, how can you take your passions, or if you have a job that you really love, like how can you make it your sole source of income, right? And I feel a lot of Sagittarius people are really focusing on that. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Awaken card. You also have this Illuminate card. So literally, both cards kind of can represent awakening or being, something being illuminated to you. So I feel like you could be awakening to like your purpose or what you're supposed to be doing. Even with the Devil, the devil can represent toxic energy, but I always say that the devil to me can represent needing to express your creative energy as well. These people have these animal horns on their heads, and the animal horns kind of represents like our baser instincts, and so like root chakra energy. And sometimes I feel with the devil, we need to take that energy of something creative, we need to bring it up to our head and kind of push it out into the world. So some of you, what's being illuminated is you kind of creating something in the world, whether it's like a business or relationship or otherwise. I would definitely protect yourself from anything toxic at this time, like literally anything, food, water, people, places, things, right? And I would just be vigilant is what I'm hearing with the Devil card. Again, I always say like I wouldn't worry about this, but I would just pay attention. What I would mostly pay attention to is people who are trying to force you into something. The Knight of Swords, he is like stressing this horse out. You can see that the horse looks stressed. And so he is like forcing this horse to run. I always think of the Knight of Swords, not always, but sometimes, as like a person who's coming into your life who's trying to make something happen faster than it can or than it should. And so if you are feeling pushed or forced, or if you are feeling like someone is trying to, get you to do something that you want to do, it might be a good time to put up some boundaries or to like slow things down. I even kind of feel that this Queen of Swords is part of the solution. The Queen of Swords is sitting down with her back to the past. So if this is a person from the past, it could mean, block this person or eliminate them from your life or do what you have to do whatever you have to do. But she's also sitting there and she's not stressed out, and she only has clouds halfway up her body. So it might be a good time for you to like slow down, right? Sit down, slow down, and kind of really think through what someone is asking you to do with that Knight of Swords. It doesn't have to be love. It could be a boss who's like, I need a decision right now. Or it could be a salesman, right? I look at the Knight of Swords as the used car salesman, right? Like a person who's like trying to push you into buying something or trying to push you into doing something. So again, this could say that, and sometimes the answer is no, right? Like if a used car salesman, or if you're trying to buy a car, maybe some of you are, is like, this deal is only going to last 24 hours. Maybe you need to say like, well, then I don't want it. Right? I can't make a decision that quickly. Sometimes we just have to say that. So I feel like the Queen of Swords is kind of about putting up those boundaries. Like she's willing to receive. She has her hand out, but she also has that sword up. So she's willing, she's like willing to receive, but if like someone's trying to force her to do something, she will chop their head off with that sword. So again, I think it would be a good time for you to kind of have those types of boundaries in your life. With the Devil, you have the Ten of Swords. So, again, this would be putting an end to the devil or conquering the devil. The Ten of Swords is about a blessing in disguise. So the Ten of Swords can say something isn't working out, but it's actually a blessing. So again, even if this is something as simple as buying a car, it's like you not buying it right now might actually, I feel like someone needs to hear that. Like you not investing in it right now, it might just not be the right time. And I think in the future, I always feel with the Ten of Swords that in the future we see how something was a blessing, how it not working out was the blessing. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Ten of Wands. Everybody's been getting the Ten of Wands, and multiple people have had it twice, which is kind of interesting as well. The thing about the Ten of Wands is that those wands are covering his face, so he can't see what is in front of him, right? And, this could say that someone is like trying to force you to see something their way, and you're not seeing it your way. So I really do feel that this is saying that there could be a situation this month, like good reading, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with this reading. I think it's more just like a tiny warning saying if someone's trying to force you to see something only one way or only their way, that's what I would be careful of here. And again, I think the simple answer is no, right? That's it. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Four Cups. We go from the Four Cups up to the Four Cups. The Four Cups says that you have been disappointed by what you have received, and this is like a new opportunity that's coming your way. He kind of represents contemplation and apathy. He is thinking about accepting that cup into his life, right? And so normally I say with the Four Cups that you should accept something into your life, but I do feel that this row, just in general, is saying that if let's put it this way as well. If a used car salesman comes to you and says, this is the deal we have, but they're not putting pressure on you, then it could say this is something you should consider, but take your time, right? So again, as long as you're not being pushed into accepting something, I think you'll be fine. If someone's being too pushy, I think that's your warning that you shouldn't enter into something. Again, something that's meant for you will come easily, right? Is kind of what this is saying. So maybe it's even love, and maybe you're saying you're not ready, and maybe this other person, again, if they're being pushy or whatever, then that's a big red flag. But if they say to you, that's fine, let me know when you're ready, then that could be a green flag, right? So again, I just think this row is talking about paying attention. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this owl spirit, and it says, you see clearly now. Queen of Swords, she sees clearly for the first time. You have this crow spirit, says co-create with spirit. And so I think you need to trust your vision. I also feel that it's interesting that it's coming up in the position of your future self. So that is telling me that you will gain the clarity you need to make a decision in the future, which might not be, this second. So again, I think this is kind of like another little clue that there is an opportunity coming in for you, but you shouldn't be pushed into it. And also you should take your time making the decision, right? You have the King of Cups, the Hangman, in the Temperance card. The King of Cups says, how do you feel about the situation? I don't really feel this is a person coming in for you. I feel the King of Cups is more talking about exploring your emotions, and that's probably why you need time to think about something, because the King of Cups, he explores his emotions to a very deep level. He is sitting in the middle of the ocean, and it just represents the fact that he has explored his emotions way down deep. He has really tapped into how he feels about doing something or making a decision in his life. So again, I think this whole entire reading is basically saying, take your time to explore. You have the Hangman. The Hangman has hanged from the tree of knowledge and wisdom, and now his head is glowing. But again, I want to remind you that this is coming up in the area of your future self. So you probably just need time to explore or study or learn something. Remember what I said about the river, right? It's like all of this energy is flowing into you, but it's not necessarily happening overnight. And that's kind of like the best way I could describe the energy that I feel for you is it's like things are happening, things are flowing in, right? You're getting this insight or you're getting energy, but you are kind of like waiting for the enlightenment to happen. And again, I feel this whole entire reading is saying like, hey, something great is coming, but take your time. You have the Temperance card again, which is you, and the Temperance card puts you in a position of power and strength. Whenever you show up as yourself, it kind of puts you in a position of power and strength. The Temperance angel is mixing these two cups together. This is the card of alchemy, or trying to turn one thing into another. So again, you could just be working with the energies and seeing how things go. And really, again, very simple reading. You always have very simple readings with me, Sagittarius, since the beginning of time, since I started this channel, right? And they're always very kind of like straightforward and have like one bit of advice. With the King of Cups, you have the Justice card. Justice would say that, again, if you're meeting a new person, for example, you can hit the ball to their side. I call it the tennis match of life, right? You hit the ball to their side, wait for them to return the favor. As long as you have this nice little back and forth going on, where you give energy, they give energy, and it goes back and forth, and keep going. But the other thing about justice is that justice represents a neutral perspective. Sometimes we have to put things on pause so that we can gather all the information and maintain a neutral perspective in whatever decision we're making. So again, I think this is talking about you just gaining a neutral perspective. With the Hangman, we have the Page of Cups. It could be a water sign, or it could be someone with water in their chart that's coming in for you. Again, I wouldn't say, I don't really like, I think most relationship advice, especially online, is absolute garbage for the most part. But again, I don't really like when I say, wait for a person to prove it to you. I don't like when people say that, because it's like, well, then you have to do that too. It's like, if you want someone to prove to you that they should be with you, then you also have to prove to them, right? We can't be creating these connections that are imbalanced. It's like when you start from a place of like, oh, this person needs to prove it, and then I'll do something. It's like you're starting from a place of lack of balance, right? So, I kind of feel like I need to say that. And, I think that, again, as long as you're kind of like doing this nice back and forth, then things will be fine if you want love. With the Temperance card, you have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is a card of expansion. As I've been saying to you for like weeks now, you have Jupiter in your opposite sign, Gemini, and even in your opposite sign, Jupiter in your opposite sign is still very positive. So, again, there could be a lot of expansion, or you could be more focused on expansion and growing something in your life. Probably, again, the river, right? Something that you're very energetically passionate about. And that's what I would focus on with the Three of Wands, is like whatever your passion is, I would be focusing on kind of giving it more juice. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this moon in detriment. It says cut your losses. You have this moon maybe. It says intuition on it. So this is coming up in the good stuff. And like I said earlier with the Ten of Swords, the cut your losses card would tell me that you are kind of seeing how cutting your losses was a good decision, right? But again, this could be something where someone is trying to force something to happen that isn't working, and with that Knight of Swords, and it might be a much better time to cut your losses. And it's coming up in the good stuff, so obviously it would be a good thing. A very intuitive time. Every single sign in the month of September has had some sort of intuition card in it. So I'm just looking at what else you have here, and you have the moon as well, so I think it would be a great time to listen to that inner voice, right? And maybe that's why you need to slow things down. That's what I feel on the Queen of Swords. She doesn't really represent that, but that's what I feel intuitively, that you're kind of like slowing things down. When we slow down, then we can listen to our intuition. You have this Four of Cups, the moon, and the Two of Wands. The Four of Cups, again, is about being disappointed with past opportunities, but again, coming up in the good stuff, I think that you could be getting something that you are very happy with now. The Four of Cups reminds us to mix together all the experiences. He still has these 3 cups in front of him, and those cups contain the ingredients of success. He has learned lessons from everything that he has done in the past, and if he mixes that together, then he can apply those lessons to future situations, and he can be more successful. So I always say, especially in the good stuff, that you should be mixing together everything that you learned. You have the moon. The moon in the good stuff would be clarity. Normally the moon represents like a lack of clarity, but showing up in the good stuff, it would kind of say that you are seeing your path more clearly and you're able to step off on that path and be successful. So I feel pretty good about this. The moon in the good stuff can also represent manifesting a dream on Earth. So if you have some sort of dream, it might be a good time for you to focus on your dream instead of focusing on something external that's going on, right? And just try to manifest that dream. Again, the river, right? I would focus on that river. You have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is about taking the lead in your life. And this wand here is complete, and he's grabbing forward onto this new wand in front of him. So he is kind of like starting something new. And, in the area of the good stuff, the Two of Wands can represent progress. So I think you're making a lot of progress. With the Four of Cups, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is all about resourcefulness and looking at your resources and using your resources appropriately. So it could be a good time for you to like tap into the resources you have. With the Moon card, you have the King of Wands. King of Wands is all about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. And again, the Moon could be a dream. So I think the King of Wands could be encouraging you to work more on like a goal, wish, or dream, or something that you want to create. With the Two of Wands, you have the Nine of Cups, which is a dream or a wish. So I think that it would be a great time for you to focus on a wish. Here's the other thing that I want to say about the Nine of Cups, is that the Nine of Cups is about bathing in the energy of something that you want in your life. And so sometimes we have to cut out all the noise from our life so that we can create an environment of success. And it kind of looks like that's what you're doing here. You have this mule. It says someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. Knight of Swords, right? So again, if you have a person that's being stubborn or that's trying to force things their way, that's what I would avoid. And again, I don't think this is only love. I think this could be like you trying to buy something, or it could be a person you work with or whatever. And I would clean that energy up. You have this mountain road. It says you're on the road to success. So clearly you are heading in a successful direction here. You have this happiness card. Everybody has had something about happiness. You start with the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is about choosing happiness. It's about doing more of the things that make you feel fulfilled and happy and joyful. So it is a time of happiness, but I would do more things that make you happy. You have this fan. It says romance, celebration, and party. Yeah, I think it's a great time to have fun, right? Like, I would avoid the toxic energies, of course, but if there are people who lift you up or people that you have a great time with, I would go do more of those things. I say all the time, I think people don't realize how important fun is. Like, I never did, right? I was stuck in my room. I always tell a story that for like 4.5 years, somewhere around there, I was like punishing myself. I had a big business failure when I was younger, and I was like punishing myself for the failure, and I was trying to like force things to work. Nothing worked during that entire time because I was punishing myself. I refused to go out and have fun. I wouldn't spend time with friends. I wouldn't go do anything, and nothing happened. And it wasn't until the first thing I did is I started walking. But after I started walking, then I started hanging out with friends and stuff. And guess what? When you're having fun, that's where the answers come from. So again, you're not going to get the answers just working, right? Or just trying to force something to work. It's when we have fun that we get the answers, and I think that's what you need to do. You have this mountain. It says major challenge to overcome. You have the mountain road card, though. I wouldn't really worry about it. I think that you are, this is talking about the river. It's like, it's been a challenge. You've been spread out, but now you're coming back to center, and this is going to be a good thing. So pretty interesting reading here, Sag. So I like it. I think you're heading in the right direction. I would just avoid the toxic stuff, of course, but it looks good. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.